conversation, and I'm going to show you one thing. This is where we are. Last lesson that we saw was lesson number 5, and the name of lesson 5 was rising, falling, intonation. But I don't know if you guys know what rising means. Rising, what is the meaning of rising? If you have to say, if a person tells you, what is the meaning of rising? Now the question is, what would you say? What is rising? What is that? Let me show you that here in the board. Hold on. Rising, right? Because last class before the exam, we talked about rising, falling intonation, you see? And so the question is, what is rising? What is the meaning of that? I don't know if someone is rising.
Rising means the pitch of the
Yes, Carlos.
me, teacher.
Yes.
Rising intonation means the pitch of the voice rise over time.
Yes. Very good.
Do you understand?
Yes, I did. I heard you. I heard you. What about you, Maria? What do you say?
Rising is, like he said, the intonation, like, wait a second, is getting the tone higher.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. I know all of you are talking about tones because we're talking about intonation, but that's okay. You are correct. Rising means to go up, right? To go up, that is rising. Something is in the floor, something is in the bottom, and if you start rising, it starts going up, right? Someone wanted to say something. Who was that? Well, anyways, and falling, if rising is to go up, then what is falling then?
Falling down.
To go down, someone said, right? So yes, that is true. Rising, falling means up and down. So it goes up and it goes down. That's what it means. And that one was chapter number 5. Rising, falling intonation is a type of intonation that goes up and goes down. Now, there was a question in chapter 5 that said, where is intonation most necessary? If you have a sentence, right? If you have a sentence, where is more necessary? The intonation. And when I say where, I'm talking about the position, the location, like at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. In which place of a sentence is the intonation more important?
At the beginning, teacher.
Carlos says at the beginning. What did you say, Gerardo? Where is it more important?
To the end, to the sentence.
At the end of the sentence? Okay, so we have one at the beginning, we have one at the end. Let's see who else. Can anybody else say, Milady, where is it more important?
I think it's in the middle.
At the middle. Now we have 3 different positions: beginning, middle, and ending. At the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. I mean, in the middle. Yes, there was someone raising hands over there. Well, I don't know who it was. But okay, I'm going to ask questions then. Let me see. Rosa Balbuena, where do you think that intonation is more important? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a sentence? I guess Rosa is not there. It's only her name. We're gonna take another person then. Luis Espinar Reyes from Guananico, are you there?
I'm here. I'm from Invert, teacher.
Oh, you're very
So
close, man.
yes, I am. I
Yeah,
consider at the beginning.
the beginning, right? Uh-huh. Well, you know, yes, Alexander Sosa, you're trying to say something, but I don't listen to you.
Oh yeah, I think in the middle, teacher. I don't know.
In the middle,
Yeah.
okay. Well, all right. What about you, Berenice?
The middle.
Oh, okay. All right. Eh, all right. Now, let's do this exercise, okay? I know that we are in English right now, but I'm going to give you a sentence, okay? Give me a second here. All right, here we go. I'm going to give you a sentence here. No, I was gonna do it in Spanish, but I'm gonna do it in English then. Now we have a negation here, right? Can anybody read this sentence?
Yeah.
Me,
Well, I'm gonna be controlling then with the hands, okay? If you wanna talk, you raise your hand on Zoom because then we're gonna go crazy. Sabrina, yes.
She doesn't love you.
She doesn't love you. You see? She doesn't love you, right? That is a negation. What about if I do this? What would you say then? Uh, Let me see. Berenice.
She doesn't love you.
Right, you see? We're putting emphasis on the word. You saw that, right? I'm going to give you now. What about if I say it in a different way? What about if I say she doesn't love you? What about if I say that? Is that a negation or is that a question?
I think that it sounded like a question.
It sounds like a question, although it is a negation, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. So listen to me, I'm gonna say the sentence 2 times. First, she doesn't love you. That's one, right? And the second one is she doesn't love you. Where do you listen to the difference in the sentences? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end?
in the middle,
Are you sure? What is the middle of this sentence?
doesn't.
Right. And I say, she doesn't love you. Doesn't sound that much.
You,
Right, it is like at the end between love and you. Well, what happens is that, and you're gonna see that, you're gonna see it now. Rising, what mean, let me change this. This is a rising, falling intonation sentence, okay? And you're gonna say, well, how do you know, teacher? We're going to learn that. This is a rising, falling intonation sentence. And what happens is that in rising, falling, the tones go up and the tones go down. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna try to do something here. Just check what I'm doing. Right? Do you recognize these lines over here? Do you recognize the lines? These lines here, these horizontal lines, how do you call them? They're not perfect because you know my nerves. Call those
Teacher,
lines. Yeah,
intonation.
intonation, are you sure? Remember that intonation is the whole sentence. The sentence has a type of intonation. It could be rising, falling intonation, chapter 5, or it could be rising intonation, chapter 6. The whole sentence has only one type of intonation, whether
Right.
rising, falling, or rising. Now, the question is, how do you call these lines in the sentence, right? I told you that this sentence has rising, falling. We know that. Why? I will tell you later. But the question is what is the name of these lines here? The
Glide,
horizontal. Yes?
glide,
Almost there. Almost, almost. What do you say, Sabrina? What is the name of this line over here? Check out my pointer. The name of that line. It has a name. We saw that in chapter 5.
A glide.
A glide, are you sure? If you put that exam, that was wrong.
Teacher,
Uh-huh.
it could be rising falling intonation.
Well, we say it's rising, falling. Yes, look, rising, falling intonation. Why is rising, falling? Because at the end of the sentence, you have a high tone, you see, high tone, and you have a low tone, up and down, rising, falling, go up and go down. That's what we call rising, falling intonation. Now, the question is, what is the name for the horizontal lines in a sentence? We talk about phonetics and we are marking the
Tone.
tones. Jesus Christ. That's what it is. Tones. The tones are represented by a horizontal line. My wife knows that, guys, and she's not studying this.
de vez en cuando.
So, the tones, how many tones do you see in that sentence? Annie Vicente, are you there?
Two tone.
Hold on. Annie, are you there?
I'm here.
How many tones do you see in that sentence?
Mm, 3 tones.
3 tones. Yes, that is true. And what do you say, Juan de Diaz? What is this tone? This one. Look at the pointer, the first one, that one. What tone?
Two.
Well, remember that we have 4 tones. We need to know the names of the tones. So what is the name of this tone? That one.
Uh, I don't know, teacher.
Very good. Then someone is going to tell you, don't worry. Jovanka, do you know the name of that tone? Jesus.
The normal tone.
Yes, that is the normal tone. What am I doing here? Hold on. Well, anyways, I'm gonna leave it there because I don't know what I did. I moved this. Well, anyways, yes, we have here.
Teacher,
Yes,
Gerardo.
yes,
We had the normal tone,
uh-huh,
a high tone,
yes,
a low tone, y extra high tone.
right, very good. Now check this. We have the normal tone, and the normal tone, you know, is a line under the word, just right under the word, you see? Then we have the high tone. This is an H. I'm sorry. That's a weird H. This is the high tone. And the high tone, you represent it with a line above the word. You see, just right above the word, right there. And we have here a low tone, which is some distance, you see, some distance below the word. Check the difference between the normal and the low. In the normal tone, we don't have that much space below the words, you see? But in the low tone, yes, we have space. So that's how you can know when it's low and when it's normal. High is easy to know, is above the word, just right there. And the extra high, well, it will be some distance above the word, some distance above it. And that's, this is a type of review because I know that in the exam, you were kind of confused. And let me see if I can tell you, if I can give you another thing. Oh, what am I doing here? Yes, here it is. Uh, let me see. Let me see.
Teacher,
Take,
one question.
yes, go on.
This example,
Uh,
how can I know in normal talking when it's arising or falling?
okay.
In normal talking.
Yes, I know. I know what you mean. Did you do the homework? There is a homework in the platform.
Yes, a new one.
Okay, let me show you. We have a homework here, and the homework started on the 4th and is going to finish on the 10th. And this is about rising intonation, okay? And here you are going to discover in which sentences you use rising, falling, and in which sentences you use rising intonation. But I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to give you some information in advance. Give me a second here. So I'm going to tell you right now the 3 type of sentences that they include the rising, falling intonation. Whenever you see a sentence of this type, it is a rising, falling intonation sentence. Which sentences? Well, number 1, let me put it here. Rising, falling sentences. So in number 1, we have statements. What is a statement? Do you guys know? Don't tell me that this is the bank record that you get. No. A statement. What is a statement? Yes, go. Okay, hold on. Let me see who. Carlo, what is a statement? Go on, Carlo.
I'm not sure, teacher, what is the statement.
Will you raise your hand? You put your hands up. I lower your hand. Jovanka, do you have your hands up? Guys, whenever you raise your hand,
Sorry, teacher.
yes, don't worry. Make sure you put it down because then I'm gonna get confused. Maria Lina, did you raise your hand for now?
Yes, teacher.
Uh-huh. The question is,
Yes,
what is a statement?
okay.
A statement.
I think a statement is like a sentence
Well,
or a
yeah.
title.
Well, yes, whatever. Look, right here, we're talking about type of sentences, okay? So statements, commands, and WH questions are sentences, all of them. But the question is, what type of sentences? Because that's what we want to know. When you see a sentence, then you want to be able to say, okay, this sentence has rising, falling intonation. You see? Uh, a statement, a statement is whatever you say that is not a question. We're gonna say it this way, okay? For you to understand it better. A statement is any sentence that is not a question. If a sentence is not a question, then how can a sentence be? Is the question now. If you see a sentence and it is not a question, then what type of sentence besides questions do you know? What type of sentences do you know that are not questions? Think about that.
Affirmative, never, negative question.
Yes, affirmative sentences and negative sentences. That is true. I like you. I don't like you. I study. I don't study. I went to the beach. I didn't go to the beach. You see, it doesn't matter the tense. It is the structure. If it is affirmative, if it is negative. You see, so that's a statement. Whenever you see a sentence in English that is a statement, which means it is an affirmation, or if it is a negation, that is a statement. And statements have rising, falling intonation. Then we have commands. What is a command? How do you know if you see a sentence that it is a command? How do you know that? A command is like an order when you tell people to do something. If you see a sentence, how do you know that it is a command? Like, what do you see? What is the grammar that you know or that we use to give comments to people? Carlo, you.
Yes, I'm here. When you tell something, someone do you work.
Uh-huh. What is the name of the grammar that you use to tell people what to do? When you tell people what to do, whatever, or people, when you tell people what not to do, right? What is the name of that grammar, Milady, sorry.
Interrogative.
Are you sure? When you interrogate, when you ask questions, maybe you are asking for permission, but when you tell people what to do, you don't ask questions. You tell them what to do. What do you say there?
What affirmation?
I don't know.
Mrs.
I don't
Eh,
even know who's talking. Give me a second here.
Maria.
Patricia Mendez, you wanted to say something. Go on. Unmute the microphone and talk.
Teacher Gerardo.
Oh, give me a second, Gerardo. Maria, you wanted to say something. Yes, go on.
Yes. Imperative or exclamation.
What's the first one that you said?
Imperative.
That's it. Stop there. The imperative is the grammar that we use when we want to give orders, right? Don't talk, don't do it, go home, eat early, take a shower, study for the test. You see, whenever you say that, you are giving orders, and those are commands. whether they're affirmative or whether they're negative. A command can be positive or a command could be negative. For example, do your homework. You see? Affirmative. Don't do it. Negative, but you're giving an order anyways. Those are the ones that we call commands. And the commands are with a rising, I mean, they have rising, falling intonation. Any sentence that is an order has the rising, falling intonation. Now let's go here. The number 3, WH questions. What are WH questions? What is that? Have you ever seen that? What are the WH questions? Sabrina, do you have your hands up?
Yeah. The WH question, we use them to ask information. For example, we use when,
Yes,
how, why.
yes. One question, Sabrina. You said one, you said one, you said that all the questions that start with a WH word, like you said when, which, what, and you say how. Is how WH?
Yeah,
Yeah.
consider WH because you use this word to ask question.
Uh-huh. And one question. You see WH, 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 and where is the WH here? Where is it? Do you see it?
No, teacher, because
Don't say
the
no, because yes, you see it.
At beginning in
You
the
see the W here and you see the H here. You have
in the
WH. I know it's not like the others, right?
it's confused.
It's not like the others, but if you go to the definition of WH, the WH is there. So how, yes, how, yes. I was just kidding, Milady. I was trying to play with you.
all right.
Yes, but how is a WH too? Yes. Okay, and Milady said that this is an information question. So besides WH questions, you also call it information. I'm gonna put info request questions. What does that mean? Information request questions. Well, that if uh, if I tell you, uh, what's your name? You say, my name is Alberto. Where do you live? I live in Las Olivas, right? You're giving information. But think about these people. I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know if you have seen people who they brag, who believe that they speak English, right? And imagine, I mean, this has happened to me. Sometimes we have visitors from other countries, United States, UK, etc., who speak English. And people look for you to translate and all that. And these people start asking questions like, "Oh, okay, and do you like to be here? Do you like to be with us? Yes. Okay, and do you like to eat fish? Yes. Will you go with us to the beach next week? Yes. And what do you like? Yes. And you continue saying yes. You see?
Yes, what?
They're not the same questions. This is a question that you have to give information. It's not yes, it's not no. You have to talk over that, right? And when that happens, la gente dice que se le acabó el inglés because they only say yes and no, right?
Explain your English.
Yes. So this is information request questions, WH questions. Any question that you see that start with the WH word, it has the rising falling intonation. And all right, let me stop here. Do you have any questions so far? So far, before I continue, do you have any questions so far? No questions, huh?
No.
Well, that's very good. I like that. I like that. I have a question for you, Patricia Almonte. Are you there? Patricia is not there. She always does that. I see. I'm gonna take my note here. Noemi Lebron, are you here tonight?
Teacher, the Patricia says
She's here.
she's here
Yes. But how do we know that it is her? How do we know?
because she's right.
You don't even know who's writing on the other side.
I'm not sure, but she's right.
That might be her grandmother or the husband or the aunt. Nobody knows.
I don't know.
That's what I'm telling you. We don't know. That's a person writing over there. That could be a robot also. Nobody knows. She says it is her. We will have to believe her. All right. Okay. Oh, who? Oh, Chantel. No, no, it was not Chantel. I was looking for, who was that? Who was the person? She got out of the meeting. Noemi Lebron, are you here tonight? Noemi, knock knock. You see, Noemi is the type of person who they log into the meeting, they go to the grocery store, and they start telling stories at the grocery, and then she comes back and she says that she's there all the time. Is that true, Noemi? Noemi is not there. Or if she's there, she's having issues with her microphone. But anyways, we'll continue with Indio. Jorge Indio, are you here tonight? Whoever I call and doesn't say anything, you are absent. Did you know that we have 10 points for assistance at the end? I don't know if you guys knew that, but I know that you are used to it because you've been in the university for so long, and I know that you know it. So take that. We'll continue then. Well, if nobody listened to me, then I'm gonna stop the meeting and I'm gonna drop this call, and that's it. We're gonna finish.
No, teacher, I'm listening you.
I cannot be talking to myself. Sometimes you are teaching yourself, right? And I don't like that because I don't need it. I already know what I know, so I don't need to know what I already know. That sounds weird, huh? But anyways, tell Esmeralda Peguero Martinez, my second cousin. Are you here? Okay, so I'm only talking to Berenice, Alexander, and Carlo, and I don't know if Giovanka is there anyways.
María está aquí, profe.
Of course,
We are
teacher.
here.
I already
Maria,
thought.
you
I'm here,
see,
teacher.
Teacher. I'm here,
I'm
teacher.
here.
I'm
I'm
here.
here.
well, yeah, now you here, huh? Now you here. I hear too, I hear you, I hear you, I hear. All right, well, anyways, let's continue then with this. In the next lesson, when you guys finish that homework, next week, we are going to learn how to mark the tones in a sentence. Uh, but before you mark the tones, as I show you, you need to know which intonation you are going to work with. I mean, if you see a sentence, you need to know if it is rising, falling, or if it is rising intonation. And after you know that, then is when you're going to start marking the tones. This is important because in the final exam, like in 2 weeks, that is going to be the main topic of the exam, marking the tones. And if you don't know how to mark the tones, then you're gonna have problems there.
All right.
Yes. Now let me give you, hopefully, hopefully you wrote this in any notebook that you had over there. Because don't believe that you are taking class only looking at the board. You should have your notebooks taking notes of what I'm saying. That's how students study. Is not only listening to me, you need to make your own notes, because now I'm going to delete this and I'm going to give you a few sentences here. I'm going to give you a couple of sentences because I want you to think about what I just told you and make an analysis of the following sentences. What you're going to do is you're going to decide if the sentence, I mean, what type of sentence it is. If it is a statement, if it is a command, or if it is a WH question. That's what you're gonna do. It's only 5 sentences that we're gonna take, you see? So what we are doing is you're gonna check the sentence and you're going to decide if the sentence goes with a number 1, with a number 2, or with a number 3. So there we have the 5 sentences. Uh, Now your job is to decide uh, if it is a statement, if it's a command, or if it is a WH question. I'm gonna give you an extra one. There you go. I'm going to give you what? 3 minutes? That's not a lot of time. I'll give you 4 minutes. Right now it's 7:43, 7:44. At 7:48, I will take 6 people to tell me the classification of these sentences. And then we'll say something else and we'll finish the meeting. So take your time. 7:48, we'll start.
This is for writing, teacher?
What was that?
Is this for writing? For writing down a notebook?
Well, no, what I mean is that you should take notes of what I'm saying. If you don't need it, that is fine.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry, sorry.
Yes. But now what we are doing is we are checking the sentences and deciding if the sentence goes with number one, number two, number three, statements, commands, or WH questions.
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys, so here we are back. uh, guys, if you're trying to be a teacher or if you are a teacher already in an institute, in a school, in a university, please try to be an organized teacher. Try to be clear, coherent, and don't drive your students crazy, because having a teacher that doesn't know what he or she is doing or the way that he or she is going to do it is very difficult and frustrating. So try to be clear, concise, and don't invent, because that kills students. All right, so here we are then. And yes, take notes, Sabrina, take notes. Give me a second. All right, so here we are. Then guys, let's see what you have. If you have the answer, we have A, B, C until F. You only have to say if it is statement, if it is a command, or if it is a WH question. You can raise your hand if you know the answer. If nobody raises hand, then I'm going to ask directly to the people, to whoever. Okay, so then we go with, we're gonna give, okay, let me wait because people are raising hands. So we're gonna give letter A to Maria Reyes, letter B to Patricia Almonte, letter C to Jovanka, and then I was, okay, letter D to Milady. We're gonna give letter E to Sabrina, and the last one, letter F to Jorge Indio. So, all right, let's go then.
Letter A is number 1.
It's a statement, right? But Maria, is that a positive or a negative statement?
Negative.
Okay, very good. All right, next person. Are you there, Patricia Amonte? You're writing? Okay, let's see. Okay, Patricia says that that is a WH question. A WH question. And then, Patricia, what is the WH word? The word, the WH word. Where is it? Tell me. You can write it. Tell me, what's the WH word that you see here in the letter B?
I can see.
Hold on. Well, then she says she's not sure. All right, then let's see. I'm gonna give the chance to Noemi Lebron. Noemi, the letter B, what's going on with the letter B? Tell us. The letter B, what's going on with it? No?
She has
I
problem
have to.
with her.
Yes, Carla, what did you say?
She have problem with her cell phone.
Okay, but one question for you, Carlos. Is this a question? That one, is that a question?
Yes.
Okay, now it's a WH question.
No.
I can have.
What did you say? Sorry.
No, teacher.
It's not a WH question because there is no WH word. There is no which, there is no what, there is no when, there is no how. Then that sentence doesn't have rising, falling into
Doesn't make sense.
because that sentence is not a statement, right? It's a question, but it doesn't have a WH word. It's not a WH word. So that one is not part of the rising, falling because it doesn't fit in any of the 3 categories that we gave. So that one is out of that.
All right.
Yeah, let's continue. What did you say? Oh God. All right, we continue then.
Profe,
Yes, letter.
Giovanca, yo en realidad no la llené esa, yo la dejé vacía.
The letter B.
Sí.
Okay, because that one is impossible to do it. Then let's see, who has letter C? Who was it, Patricia?
No, Giovanca.
Oh, that's you, Giovanni. Yes.
The number 3 is commands because commands are used when you are telling someone to do something.
Yes. So tell me which is the one that you like, the one you like, right? So whenever you see a sentence where you guys know the imperative already, but whenever you see that a sentence starts with a verb, you see, right? With an action verb, that's an imperative sentence normally. When it's verb. Very nice. So you have to clean the little booty of the baby, Jovanka, you know, stinky
I'm
booty.
sorry.
It's a stinky. All right, then we have the next one, which is D, Milady Morillo. Is it you?
Yes. Is the WH questions.
It's a WH
What
question.
are you doing? Because it's question with the WH question. And you
Yeah,
have the and we
that is true. That is correct. Then we have letter E. And we see Sabrina, is it you?
Yeah. In this question, teacher, I don't put anything because
Why?
if this sentence uh, is not a
A rising falling one, right? It doesn't have rising falling intonation. It's not a statement,
yeah,
not a command. It is a question, but not WH.
exactly. I don't know how to put it.
But that you are correct. You are fine. You are
Okay.
fine. So that's a question that is not formed with a WH, which means that it doesn't go in the rising falling intonation. And then we have the last one, sorry, which is the letter F for Jorge Indio Biel. What do you say? George Indio, are you there?
Teacher. Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
teacher. It's a statement, teacher.
It's a statement, positive or negative?
Uh,
Negative.
Positive.
A positive. And what is didn't? Whenever,
Uh,
yes,
excuse me. It's negative.
yes. I didn't see you yesterday. It is a negative statement, and that statement is in what time? In what tense? Present, future, or past?
Future, teacher.
In future.
Yeah.
Do you see will or going to over there?
That is in past.
That is in
In
No,
past.
teacher.
Didn't.
didn't. Didn't. It is the auxiliary that you use to give the past to sentences, the simple past, negative. And that's it, you see, that's it. So one question, the sentence B and the sentence E, if there are not rising falling sentences, what type of sentences are they? If they're not rising falling, what are they then? You guys forgot the lesson number 6.
Uh, can you repeat it, teacher?
Yes,
Again, please.
if the sentence B and the sentence E don't belong to the rising falling sentences, then to what sentences do they belong? That's the question. Jovanka. Jovanka raised hands and she went to the grocery.
No, teacher, I'm here, but I don't have the answer.
You don't have the answer. What is the name of chapter number 6? Who knows? Lesson 6. What is the name of lesson 6 that I told you at the beginning?
Rising intonation.
Rising intonation, because I told you there are two types of intonation, rising, falling, and rising. That's what I'm telling you. Guys, look, this is the first thing that I show you. Lesson 6, rising intonation. So the sentences that don't fit In the rising falling, obviously, automatically, undoubtedly,
Is
go to the right
is rising.
intonation. Yes, that's what it is. And what we are going to do, listen, before we finish, of course, there is, I'm going to erase this. I'm going to delete that. There is something important that in the exam, I show you different lines. I show you a line like that. I show you a line like that. And I show you, oh, let me see if I can do it here. It is very uncomfortable to do it. Anyways, you guys know what I'm trying to do. And I told you, what is the name for this? What is the name for that? And what is the name for this one, right? So 1, 2, and 3. I know it looks weird, but I know you guys know what I mean. What is the name for the number 1 here? What is the name for that line? Do you guys remember? You can unmute your microphone and say it before we finish.
Yeah, yeah, teacher, I can tell you.
The tone.
A tone, right? Yes. So don't forget, whenever you see horizontal lines, horizontales, right? That one, that is a tone. And depending on the place where the line is, you will know the type of tone it is. If it is right under the word, it is the normal tone. If it is right above the word, it's the high tone. And if you have it some distance below the word, that is the low tone. So the tones are represented by horizontal lines. And depending on where the line is, then you will say which tone it is. And then we have here a vertical line, vertical line. What is the name for that vertical line? Do you guys know?
Glide tone.
Are you sure?
I will
Sorry, chief.
have to.
A
It's
shift,
shit. Oh shit.
a shift, shift.
Sheets.
Shift means
Shit.
change. If you are driving and you pass from one shift to another shift, from the first to the second and to the third, you are changing, right? So shift is the change from one tone to another tone between syllables. I mean, I don't know if you, before we leave, let me write this here. I love her, right? You have that, and I have this. I go up here, and I go down here. How many shifts do you see there? Can you tell me? How many shifts do you know? Do you see? I mean, how many?
2.
Two
2.
shifts, two shifts, one here
Right.
and one
No
here.
one there.
And what is doing this shift over here? What is the function of that shift here? Sorry, I put that over there. That one here. That is the first shift, right? That is the first, and this is the second shift. What is the first shift doing over there? It sounds like a difficult question, but it's not. What is that shift doing here?
Racing.
Are you sure? Before and after the shifts, before and after, what do you see? Before and after, what do you see?
It's changing.
Before and
We
after.
see two tones.
You see two tones, but there is one change because
High.
at the beginning here, we have one tone, but up over here we have another. So what was the function of the shift? You guys forgot, huh?
Separate them, teacher.
To separate, to
Yep.
separate, to change from one tone to another tone, to change from the normal tone to the high tone. And the same thing happens here. This shift is changing the high tone to the low tone. You see? Between the syllables. That is a shift. The change from one tone to another tone between syllables. That's what it is. Now, what is a glide then? This is a glide. It's an ugly glide, but I know you guys have seen it in the book. What is a glide? The glide. If you guys don't know what a glide is, you need to study because you are in problems then. You have an example here, look. It's almost the same sentence, you see? Almost the same sentence. I go here, I go up. No, not that one, sorry. It's not there. I continue, I go up, and I go down here. That's an ugly glide, but that's okay. Now, I want you to see this. Focus on these two parts here. On these two parts, and focus here, right here. How many syllables do you see here?
2.
Are you
Two.
sure? Sure. In John, there are 2 syllables in John.
In the tone.
John 3.
No. Okay. I don't want to get you confused. Let me go back. Let me rewind. Let me go back. I go again. Let me put it another way. Check this word and check this word. That one. What is the difference between that and that? If we are talking about content word and function words. And this is the last question, and this is the last thing that we're going to do. And we will finish here because then you're gonna get confused. What is the difference between this word, John? What is the grammatical name for that word? What is that word in grammar? What's the name of the
Brown.
a what? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
John is content word.
Why? Why is content word? What is
Because it's a pronoun.
is a pronoun? Are you sure?
Because it's a
Okay, if I tell you what is Berenice, what is Alexander, what is
no, there is a no.
what is Brigida, what is Alberto, what is that? What are those words?
It's a name.
A name, and names in grammar are called nouns. You see, nouns. So John is a noun. And what is her? Is
Yes.
her function?
Pronoun.
A pronoun.
Function,
Yes.
function word.
It is a pronoun, it is function word. And you know what happens? Very quick, just to let you know. You know why here we didn't use glide? Do you know why now? Why is it that we don't use glide here? Why did we use a shift right here? You guys still don't guess, huh? It is the same sentence. You see, the only thing that changes is the last word. So when you have a sentence, a rising, falling intonation sentence, and the last word is a function word, we use the glide. You see, we can, not the glide, sorry, we use the shift. You can use it, you see? Function word, you put the low tone. Why? Because function words are not stressed. Function words are on stress. So you can put the low tone to function words. But John is not a function word. John is a content word. And you cannot give the low tone to a content word because content words are stressed. They are strong. They're not weak. Keep that in mind. I'm not going to explain anymore. When you read the chapter, when you do homework, you will see then what I'm trying to tell you. Many of you will not understand. I told you this is only an introductory part. When you read it, think about these examples now, and then in the following week, everything will be clearer for you.
Okay, teacher.
All right.
You need to
Okay.
study. You need to study.
Going to study.
Well, you you have to. All right. Yes. Okay. Well, and that's it. I know. I mean, this class. I like this class to be in the university face to face because there are many things we can do. But anyways, this is what we have, and COVID-19 is almost gone from Dominican Republic. You guys saw in Semana Santa, everybody at the beach, at the river, no mask, nothing, drinking, swimming, playing, chatting. No COVID-19 anymore. So very soon we will be together and COVID will be something of history. I know you guys, you were the ones playing and going to the beach and rivers and not using mask and driving in the flood and in the river with high waters. I know that.
Yes, teacher.
Guys, that's it. I will see you then. When I see you, do homework. Don't let the date pass, because if you let it pass, you're gonna be losing points, and we are almost at the end. We only have 2 weeks and the exam, and that's it. So take care.
Okay, teacher.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, teacher.
You too.
Good night, teacher.
All
Goodbye,
right.
everyone.
Goodbye.